What's going on, Kyle? We are back for UFC 270, Ngannou versus Gane. Pretty fired up. How you feeling?
Yeah, we're finally back. Last week's card was all right. We did okay. Both of our locks hit easy.
Yep.
Giga let us down a little bit.
But I did forget the cardinal rule of the MMA is that central mass kids are fucking tough. And boy is Calvin Kattar the example that proves the rule. Central mass kids are fucking tough.
They're very tough. Kattar kind of kicks some ass.
Dude, Kattar looks... I haven't seen Kattar look that good in a very long time.
Yeah.
He did to Giga what Max Holloway did to him.
Yeah, which is crazy to say.
Which is fucking insane.
But that was the difference between a winning and losing night. We did only lose, I think, 2 units. And the locks hit. Luckily, we had one fan put $1,600 on Brandon Royval. And
that was a little spicy.
Yeah, it was a little spicy. But, dude, Bontarine tapped.
I was going to ask you, Bontarine definitely tapped.
He tapped.
He definitely tapped. I feel like the judges had to give Royval the fight because...
Dude, I agree. Yeah.
Because, it was like split decision, and the guy who probably thought Bontarine won didn't see him tap.
I mean, he tapped out, dude.
Yeah. Arm was completely hyperextended, and he doing this, and then Royval let him go.
Yeah. Luckily, the right man won. And
yes.
We won somebody a little bit of money.
Yeah.
And your boy Chase Sherman.
Yo, Sherman sucks. He tapped from pressure.
That choke was not in.
That choke was way less in than Glover Teixeira choking Jan Blachowicz, and that was barely in. That was the same exact setup.
The announcers were literally like, "Oh, he's setting it up."
Yeah, he's just like. Yeah. But you called it pretty much spot on, and the announcer, quitter, complete crybaby quitter.
Mm-hmm.
And the announcers were doing him quite a few favors, being like, "Oh, he's Chase Sherman's looking really good. He's fucking battling back and forth with Collier." Collier was piecing him apart, and then that lasted for all of 45 seconds. Takes him down.
He's a quitter. We called it.
Yeah, crybaby quitter Chase Sherman. Hopefully gets cut by UFC.
Right, but yeah, it wasn't the best card. I'm really looking forward to UFC 270.
Yes, let's get right into it. The first fight on the card, match 14, early prelims. Kay Hansen of OnlyFans Kay Hansen and Jasmine Jasdevicius. Kay Hansen is somehow minus 260 with a record of 7-4, going up against the 6-1 Jasmine, sitting at plus 210, and on DraftKings, Kay Hansen is 8,800. Jasmine is 7,400. Are we hammering Jasmine here?
I do like Jasmine coming off Contender Series win. The one thing that scares you about Kay Hansen is her wrestling. She does have 2 takedowns in each of her UFC fights. She's fought some good competition. Not the best, but Jing Frey isn't horrible, and McKenna's not horrible. But she lost to McKenna, and she beat Frey by submission. I think Jasmine's probably the better athlete. You can't research Kay Hansen too much without getting in trouble with your significant others. So.
Yes, there are some racy pics on her Twitter. And the funniest thing is her pinned tweet from last year is like all about like her dropping out of high school and following her dreams. And then when I was looking it up, the fucking very next tweet was this racy pic, and it's like onlyfans.com/Kay Hansen.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's not the best look.
But jokes aside,
yes.
I don't think she should be that heavy of a favorite over anybody. So
no, not at all.
Jasmine.
If she was if the line was reversed, I would say values on Hansen, but not at this price.
Yeah.
Not at the OnlyFans price.
Right.
Minus 260. Yeah, not a play on DraftKings either. All right. Let's get down to business here. Jokes aside, moving on to match the steamroller Frevola, minus 195, going up against Gennaro Valdez, plus 165 on DraftKings. Frevola is 8,700. Valdez is 7,500. ESPN loves these loud ass ads here. All right.
So yeah, we got another Contender Series fighter making his debut. Against Matt Frevola, who we saw get destroyed by Terrence McKinney.
Yes.
Matt Frevola has always been a little bit chinny. Losing and getting knocked out by Polo Reyes proves that. Mm-hmm. And he really doesn't have any good wins on his record besides our boy, Rush Malfio. But that was a long time ago. That was a long time ago. Yeah. They're different fighters now, definitely different paths, and I can't take Matt Frevola, especially a favorite Matt Frevola. I'm going with Valdez. He's a killer.
Yes.
We won some money on him on the Contender Series. He's always looking for a finish, and Matt Frevola is somebody who could get finished.
Very finishable, Matt Frevola.
Yeah.
The steam rolled.
Yeah, I'll take the UFC newcomer in Valdez.
Yeah, love this matchup for him. All right, moving on up the card, Silvana Gomez Juarez is a slight dog at plus 120, going up against Vanessa Demopoulos. I think Demopoulos opened up as a slight dog and is now a minus 140 favorite. And on DraftKings, Demopoulos is 8,300. Gomez Juarez is 7,900.
Yeah, this is a tough fight. Last time we saw Vanessa Demopoulos fight was against J.J. Aldrich, and that's a no easy fight. J.J. Aldrich is a beast. I'm pretty sure Vanessa Demopoulos is dropping weight for this fight. I am pretty sure.
Yes. Well, they do have a common opponent in Lupi Godinez. And Silvana. Yeah, old Lupi. Silvana, I think, got armbarred almost immediately.
No, Vanessa Demopoulos is dropping weight. Again, so this will be her first fight in the UFC in her real weight division. She took the fight against J.J. Aldrich on short notice and up a weight class. And she didn't look horrible.
Right.
She's coming in against Silva Gomez Juarez, who also took a short notice fight against Lupita. I like Demopoulos in this fight, and I like her a lot.
Same. I like the line movement is telling you.
Yeah. Yeah, I like her. She's another one good-looking fighter.
Yeah.
And she does have a lot of losses on her record, but she's fought a lot of tough girls. Her losses are J.J. Aldrich, Lupita Godinez, Corey McKenna. She's not fighting... She's fighting good competition.
Yeah.
Has win over Sam Hughes. She's the UFC fighter. She's really good. So I like her.
Better than Silvana. That's all I needed to hear.
Exactly.
All right. Moving on here. This one is going to be a pretty good fight as well. Michael Morales, minus 130, going up against Trevin Giles, plus 110. And then on DraftKings, this one is on DraftKings. A couple of these are not up there yet. Giles is 8,000, Morales 8,200, so a little bit of a discrepancy there in the price. They have, it's pretty much pick 'em. Thought it was the other way around. I like Mike Morales here.
Ooh, we're going to have to differ.
Okay.
First differential of the year, I think.
I think so.
We're pretty much on the same people last fight. But Trevin Giles, I don't know if you know this, this will be his welterweight debut.
Yeah.
We don't always love debuting fighters at weight class, but Trevin Giles should never have been fighting at 185. Yeah. He was always undersized. he was never fully committed to the fight game.
Right.
He's a police officer still. But one thing for certain, he was not lacking strength even at a weight class where he was the smaller guy. He beat Roman Dolidze. He beat Bevan Lewis. He beat James Krause.
Yeah. James Krause, though, was terrible. James Krause was the night before, though, right? That was a very late edition. But still, James Krause. But
Roman Dolidze is a true 185er, and he's big.
Right.
And he beat him. Against Dricus, he didn't look bad until he got finished.
Right.
I'm hoping that at welterweight, Trevin Giles' cardio will hold up a little bit more than it did. But you got to look back. Back when this guy was coming into the UFC, he has wins over Brendan Allen from back in the day. This kid was a prospect. And he's coming in against a 12-0 prospect in Michael Morales, who we also won money on in the Contender Series. It's a tough fight. I've always liked Trevin Giles maybe a little more than I should, and I'm going to roll with him one more time.
Yeah. I don't dislike Trevin Giles here, but those last 15 pounds it's usually a tough cut in general. Not so much for the heavier guys, but I don't know. I've just seen too many people come down in weight and then just get starched by faster competition.
For sure. Yep. Can't argue with that.
Yeah, and Mike Morales is, like you said, a very hot prospect right now. And I think the line is probably right. I think it's about a coin flip.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on here, up the card, Tony Gravely at minus 240 fighting Stamann Oliveira plus 200. This one is also on DraftKings. Gravely is 8,900, Oliveira 7,300. What do we think here?
Hammer Tony Gravely.
Yeah, I think this line is about right.
We got Simon Oliveira, another Dana White Contender Series fighter.
Yeah.
But this time, he's coming against Tony Gravely, who, yes, we saw him lose to Nate Maness. But if you remember that first round, he freaking 10-7'd Maness in that first round.
Right.
He destroyed him. And I think he gassed himself out in that first round. And he's just a beast. His wrestling is so good. He's very athletic. He throws bombs on the feet. I think we're going to see Tony Gravely get a finish here.
Yeah, 100%. He's an absolute monster. All right, easy consensus there. Now, this next one, to start off the 8 o'clock prelims, late edition, right, in Jack Della Maddalena is now going up against Pete Rodriguez.
Yes.
Who is just a silhouette on ESPN. Don't even have a picture of him up there.
Well, he's only got 4 MMA fights.
Right, 4-0 Pete Rodriguez.
Yeah.
I think the line is just about right at minus 310 for Jack Della Maddalena and Pete Rodriguez. Who the hell cares? But he's plus 250. And then not on DraftKings. The next couple are not up there yet.
Yeah, I think you're right. The line's probably right there. It's just too much too soon for Pete Rodriguez. And Jack Della Maddalena will use his wrestling to win this fight.
Yeah. Let's not spend any more time on it than that. Moving up, we got a couple of huge favorites on here coming up. We have Ilia Topuria, absolute savage at 145, going up against Charles Jourdain, plus 380. I believe this is another late edition. This
very,
one also
very
not
late.
Yeah.
And it's Charles Jourdain, give him all the credit for taking this fight against Ilia Topuria.
There might be value in the minus 500 here.
Because goddamn, he's going to be in for it. Ilia Topuria, I don't know if you know this, he's only 24 years old.
He looks like he's about 45. Those are 24 Georgian years there.
Right.
That's why fucking Giga Chikadze is all balding and he looks like he's 78 years old.
He's 24, and he's just a monster. Yes, we did see Charles Jourdain go out and look great against Andre Ewell, who was another fighter debuting at a lower weight class for the first time. But if you're losing to somebody like Julian Erosa, especially getting subbed out by him, Ilia Topuria is going to crush you.
He will smash you.
Yeah. Topuria, you probably have to have him in DraftKings.
Yes, have to.
Yeah.
When it comes out, it's not out yet.
Okay.
But, moving on. Raoni Barcelos, minus 440, going up against Victor Henry, plus 340, also not on DraftKings. Actually, nope, I lied. This one is on there. Barcelos is 9,300 and Victor Henry is 6,900. I think this one was a late substitution, but around Christmas-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you said a couple weeks.
We already broke this fight down.
Yes, we did. That's right.
we already broke it down. Raoni Barcelos is a monster.
Yes.
But Victor Henry is a little scrapper.
He is.
That kid could fight. I would not take Raoni Barcelos at that line. I think it's dog or pass. Victor Henry or pass.
Yes.
Just because he's too scrappy.
He is. He's very scrappy.
He's too scrappy.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. This one is also another very good fight, and there's no line out, but I already know who I like. And we got Rodolfo Vieira going up against Wellington Turman. Wellington Turman might die here.
Wellington Turman's one of the worst fighters in the UFC. I don't care that he beat Sam Alvey.
Yeah. Sam Alvey, when Sam Alvey had lost like 4 straight going into that fight.
Yeah. And he still didn't look great in that fight.
No.
Against him.
No.
Yeah, Wellington Turman is going to get crushed by Rodolfo, the black belt killer. And Wellington Turman's a black belt.
Yeah. And so Rodolfo is 8-1. His last loss, he basically gassed out, going up against a guy on very short notice. What the hell was his name? The guy he lost to. But he was basically dominating the entire fight.
He got choked out.
He got choked out. Hernandez.
Yep.
Anthony Hernandez.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at these two guys side by side, it's hard to believe that they weigh the same because fucking Rodolfo is twice his size.
Yeah, Rodolfo showed he's got some good striking now.
He does.
I think he's gonna finish Wellington Turman. You're right.
100%. 100% he might die.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Speaking of people who might die, Cody Stamann is going up against Saeed Nurmagomedov. Saeed is minus 190, Cody Stamann plus 160. Is this one on DraftKings? Yes, it is. Only Cody Stamann is on here. They won't even let you take Saeed.
No, Saeed, they got him at 86.
Oh, you know why? Because I already took him. He's already in my lineup.
So, yeah, I like Saeed Nurmagomedov as well. Cody Stamann's your meat and potatoes kind of guy.
Yeah.
He's a wrestler at heart. Saeed he's a Nurmagomedov, but he is a striker. But he trains with those wrestlers every day. He's obviously got wrestling chops.
Yeah.
Cody Stamann is low volume with everything. That's including takedowns.
Right.
So Cody Stamann just doesn't do much when he's in there.
Right.
And against a guy who's flashy like Saeed, who's fast as shit like Saeed, it's going to be a problem. I like Saeed as well. Probably by 50.
Yeah. And how many times did Merab Dvalishvili take down Cody Stamann in his last fight? Probably like a million.
He takes down everybody.
Yeah.
But Saeed is not a wrestler.
Right.
He's going to want to strike.
Right. Yeah, even if he doesn't finish him, he's going to score a million more points on DraftKings because Stamann, like you said, very low output. But, all right, let's move on to why is this fight even on this card? Fucking Sergey Spivak plus
canceled.
one. Canceled. Thank God.
That fight's off.
Thank God. Do not want to see Greg Hardy fight again.
Greg Hardy got hurt. Fight's off.
His wife gets a payback on him?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. All right, so easy peasy. Moving on. Michael Pieda going up again. Michael Pieda is minus 280 going up against Andre Fialho.
Yeah. Michel Pereira, we all know he is a freaking flashy, weird fighter. Likes to do backflips and Superman punches and tire himself out for no reason, really.
Yeah.
But he is on a 3-fight winning streak. That includes a win over Chaos and Nico Price. That Nico Price fight, though, should have been a draw. That was a 10-8 third round for Nico Price. Because no shock there, Michel Pereira was gassed. Andre Fialho is coming over from the PFL. And he's no joke. He's a knockout fighter. He goes for the kill.
He does.
And one fight, looking back, I watched his fight with the surging Chris Curtis. And he didn't look horrible. He was getting boxed up, but he never gave up. He stayed in the fight all the way through the third round. Fialho is a gangster, and I think he's being a little bit disrespected. He was saying, and I watched an interview with him, he was saying that he thinks his style matches up with the dancing, he didn't even call it fighting, the dancing of Michel Pereira. And he was like, I think I'm going to catch him and the knockout's inevitable. So I think I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on the Andre Fialho knockout prop, even though Pereira has proven that he's pretty durable. I'll take it.
I like that.
Backflip into a uppercut.
Yep. All right. So now, co-main rematch of the flyweight title.
Yep.
Fucking Brandon Moreno, minus 175. I was shocked when I saw that.
Crazy.
Going up against Deiveson Figueiredo. We just talked to Hausch, and what the fuck is his last name? I already forgot.
Manfield.
Manfield. And he was saying that Figueiredo is using the same coach that he was in Brazil, who is much better at getting guys to cut weight. So this,
it's
got to think.
He's training with Henry Cejudo.
Yes.
Henry Cejudo and their coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree. He needs that.
He looked dead after his last cut. So no surprise there. They got finished. And I think this line is a little bit disrespectful to the former champ Figueiredo. I think it should probably be a coin flip here.
Yeah, and Figueiredo should have improved wrestling. Like we said, he looks shredded. He looks like he's in great shape.
Yeah.
I think he'll have a better weight cut. That's yet to be seen. And I don't know. I think Figueiredo, even after the draw, which that fight was only a draw, Figueiredo really won that first fight. He had a point taken for low blows.
Yeah.
I think even after the draw, Figueiredo kind of took Brandon Moreno a little lightly.
Yes. 100%.
That's not taking anything away from Brandon Moreno. He's looked excellent. His comeback after getting cut from the UFC is super impressive. And you know what I was telling myself? If this was 5 years ago, I'm hammering Deiveson Figueiredo right now. Mm-hmm. But I can't do it. What we saw, the last fight, Brandon Moreno was the better guy, the better fighter.
Yeah.
And I can't let myself keep falling for the trap of betting the guy.
Old guys that used to be good.
Old guys who I'm like, oh, he switched gyms. He'll improve. I can't count on that improvement. This is bet Moreno or pass for me.
Yeah. I like it.
But I could see why people like Figueiredo switching gyms, getting the wrestling, looking in excellent shape.
Hopefully the weight cut is not going to almost kill him this time.
Right.
That's
He's not taking it lightly.
Yeah, right. The effort is going to be improved. I do have him on one of my DraftKings lineups.
Yeah. Oh,
because he's
pretty
pretty cheap.
You're probably going to need one of these guys. So I would take
5-round fight. He's cheaper.
Yeah.
And I got one of the next guys in my lineup as well. Moving on to the main events. Francis Ngannou, talking about people who are being disrespected. Plus 130 going up against the interim champ in Ciryl Gane on DraftKings. It's pretty close, I think. Ciryl Gane is 8,400 and Ngannou is 7,800.
Yeah. My favorite breakdown of this fight was a tweet that I saw like 3 months ago. And it said, watching Ciryl Gane train. You're like, oh, wow, this guy moves like a middleweight. He's excellent. Good footwork. Good everywhere. Right. And then it says, watching Francis Ngannou. And you're just like, God damn. it's so true. Yeah. It's like, yeah, Ciryl Gane's good at everything, but look at fucking Francis, dude.
Yeah, Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, and that's exactly right. When you watch Ciryl Gane train, you look at him with admiration at how awesome he is at everything. And when you watch Francis Ngannou fight, you're in sheer terror for the people who are around him. This is
a freak. You can't achieve what he can achieve. Yeah. And I think Francis wins this fight. I think he gets a knockout. He's going to be hungry. He's being disrespected by the line makers. He's being disrespected by the UFC. Dana White's
very much being disrespected by Dana White.
Yeah, saying he doesn't want to fight. I think that's a lie. Classic Dana.
I think Dana White is trying to sell fights.
Exactly. Yeah. And he's trying to get Francis for as cheap as he can, and you can't fault Dana for that. That's his job.
Right.
But I do think Francis wins this fight. I think he wins by knockout. Hopefully we don't see another boring fight. I think Francis is done with that after the Derek Lewis debacle. And we've seen him since then just charge forward with massive strikes and knock everybody out. Yeah.
And so Ciryl Gane can piece him up all he wants and fight technically perfect and still get his head knocked into the next entry.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is kind of what I thought was going to happen with Derek Lewis, but he knocked the shit out of Derek Lewis.
Yeah. And, man, Francis is just so good. It's hard to break it down a fight like this because Ciryl Gane's probably the better fighter.
He's definitely the better fighter. He's been the better fighter in every single one of his fights. I mean, he fought some not very good people. When he started, he fought old-ass Dos Santos. Right. He was still pretty good, but when he beat, Volk, it was like, all right, he's pretty good. And when he beat Derek Lewis that bad, I was like,
right.
Ooh.
And it's just like, it's the same comparison as Curtis Blades is so much better than Derek Lewis.
Yeah.
But he just can't beat him.
Right. He lost the fight. Yeah, so I think it's probably going to be like a Curtis Blades versus Derek Lewis type of fight where Francis Ngannou could lose, if it goes 4 rounds, he could probably lose 3 rounds and then still just knock his head off.
And I think you're right with the 4 rounds. I think Francis carries his power pretty late.
Yeah. He does. He's got so much of it. Even at Francis at 60% is terrifying.
Right. But yeah, I'm with you. I like Francis too.
Yeah, 100%. Did you make a DraftKings lineup?
I didn't yet, but I can throw one together real quick.
All right. I did make one because I planned ahead. All right, going from most to least expensive here. We got Rodolfo Vieira, 9,000 over Wellington Turman. I still think that's too cheap for Rodolfo Vieira.
Yeah.
Then we have Tony Gravely over Oliveira, 8,900. Saeed Nurmagomedov, 8,600 over Stamann. And moving down, we have Francis Gane at 7,800. That was definitely a steal. And then also Deiveson Figueiredo, 7,700. And then kind of ran out of money. And I got my last one, pretty good dog play. Jasmine, just a vicious.
Yeah.
7,400. One of the cheaper fighters on the card who I thought had a decent chance of winning. She's probably the best, plus 200 plus dog on the card.
Yeah.
Best bet, 100%.
I was able to throw one together real quick. I got Rodolfo Vieira.
Okay.
Starting it off. Got Tony Gravely. Brendan Moreno.
Okay.
Trevin Giles. I'm then dropped down Francis Ngannou.
Okay.
And Gennaro Valdez. And that leaves 300 on the table.
Oh, nice. I'm leaving 600.
I like that squad.
I like that squad.
I will have teams with both Brendan Moreno and Figueiredo. Mm-hmm. I might even have a Ciryl Gane team in there. You got fights like that. You got to mix up because that could be the one fight you get wrong. It's going to piss you off forever.
Right, and there's a billion fights on this card, so you got to make a bunch of different ones. Whereas last week it was like, you're picking a couple. You use 10 fighters or 10 fights on the card, so all the lineups are going to be almost exactly the same.
Right. Yep.
All right.
My strategy this week is I'm gonna make my stand with some of my dog plays, and then I'll switch up the top.
Right.
That's going to be my DraftKings strategy this week.
Excellent.
But yeah, pumped for this card. Let's win some money.
Fired up. All right, bud. Later.
All right. See ya.